Welcome back to all the students. Today, in this continuous series of evolution, we are going to exclusively talk about human evolution. In the previous lectures, we had discussed about the Darwinism and Lamarckism. Darwinism, which is a theory, you can say, about evolution, which explains the evolution, how it occurred, and all. And in the same way, Lamarckism is also another proposed theory which later on failed to convince the scientific community, but today's video is somewhat different. We are exclusively talking about the human evolution, how exactly modern humans evolved from somewhat ape-like animal or monkey-like animal. We are going to discuss all of them today. So, journey from ape-like ancestor to modern humans. This is today's presentation. So, what is evolution? This is just an introduction, although we had already discussed this point previously in our two presentations. What is evolution? So, you already know what evolution is. Evolution is a process of gradual change in organisms over millions of years, through which organisms become more complex and develop their various features. So simple origins, as it is saying, simple origins, that the evolution and currently existing organisms were having very simple origins. The organism which we see today, they were not like not like this lakhs and crores of years ago, millions and millions of years ago. They were quite simple back then. Biodiversity, life on Earth is a result of evolution. We had already discussed this point in Darwinism, in the theory of natural selection, which Darwin proposed, that biodiversity which we see around us in the nature is a result of evolution, because every organism is trying to adapt to the surrounding, adapt to the environment, and in this process of adaptation, it is bringing about few changes in itself, and these changes ultimately making it a new species. In the very same way, every organism is trying to do the same, trying to adapt to the trying to adapt to the environment, and this adaptation process is producing new and new species over time. Next, early ancestor. This is the real deal here. We are starting the actual points which we are about to discuss. Early ancestor. Who were early ancestor of human beings, current human beings, modern human beings? Who were early ancestors? We are not talking about that there was a single cell in the ocean and it developed and it started to replicate itself. We are not talking about that thing. We are talking about exactly which animal to which we can trace our ancestry. So we all know that around 7 crore years ago, 6 crore years ago, dinosaurs were moving around our world. Dinosaurs, yes, one of the most fascinating animals ever walked on Earth. So those dinosaurs disappeared around 7 crore years ago. We don't know the exact reason, obviously. Some say that there was an asteroid. That asteroid destroyed all the dinosaurs on Earth. Few experts say that there was a mystery disease, just like the COVID, we can say. Yes, it was a mystery disease which made the all dinosaurs vanish from Earth. So dinosaurs somewhat disappeared around 7 crore years ago. At that point of time, when dinosaurs disappeared, a lemur-like animal was present on Earth. A lemur-like animal, okay, not an ape-like animal, not a monkey-like animal, a lemur-like animal. Lemur is a different animal, monkey is a different animal. So a lemur-like animal was present on Earth at that time when dinosaurs were walking on Earth. So that lemur-like animal transformed into a monkey-like animal. Keep the sequence in your mind. Lemur-like animal was existing at the time of dinosaurs. That lemur-like animal transformed into a monkey-like animal later on. Around 4 crore years ago, 7 crore years ago, dinosaurs disappeared. Lemur-like animal was in existence over a long period of time, over crores of years period of time. That lemur-like animal transformed into a monkey-like animal. Okay, and around 4 crore years ago, the tail of that monkey-like animal disappeared. Okay, around 4 crore years ago, tail disappeared. Their brain enlarged. Yes, the brain enlarged, and hands became more developed. So these three changes we can see here when they are transforming into a monkey-like animal, and from monkey-like animal to a tailless monkey, we can say, which we can call an ape. Yes. So when they transformed from monkey to ape, three changes which we can see clearly here. First one, the tail got disappeared. The second one, their brains enlarged. Their brains became big and large. And the third one, that their hands became more developed compared to the monkey. And this resulted into an ape-like animal. Yes, then later on the ape-like animals evolved from that monkey-like animal. Okay, the sequence is with you. Keep this thing in mind. Evolution of apes. From that monkey-like animal, after the disappearance of the tail and development of hand and enlargement of their brain, ape-like animals evolved. Few ape-like animals left Africa. Now remember, this was actually happening in Africa. All of these things, it was actually happening in Africa. So few ape-like animals, group of ape-like animals left Africa and they entered Asia. They entered Asia and moved towards China and Indonesia and Malaysia. Today, where we see the Borneo rainforest and dense forest of China, those are the places where they migrated to from Africa. So few ape-like animals migrated from Africa to Asia. And where exactly in Asia? In dense forests of China and in Southeast Asia. All right. So the ape-like animals who migrated from Africa and they reached to Asia, they transformed into gibbons and orangutans. They transformed they migrated from Asia, Africa, and entered into Asia. They reached China and Southeast Asia rainforest, and there they became gibbons and orangutans. The ones who came to Asia, who migrated to Asia, they became gibbons and orangutans, which we can still see. On the other hand side, one group of apes, they stayed in Africa. Yes, they stayed in Africa. And who stayed in Africa? Those later on transformed into gorillas and chimpanzees. Gorillas and chimpanzees are still there in Africa, obviously. So the group which never left Africa, they transformed into gorillas and chimpanzees. Environmental changes forced some apes to leave forests and adapt to life on land. This is an important point. The environment was changing at that time. Environment was changing, rain was becoming inconsistent, and because of this, the large trees, they were declining, and due to this, the ape-like animal which were residing on the tall trees and all, they were forced to leave the trees and get onto land. So the inconsistent rain and various other temperature rise, maybe all these reasons contributed to the decline of dense forests, which ultimately made these tree dweller apes to get onto land. And once they get onto land, few amazing thing happens to them. What happened exactly? Ultimately, they developed few human-like characters into them. Which characters? Let us see. We had already discussed that dry climate, inconsistent rains shrank the forests, pushing apes onto the open ground, onto the grasslands of savanna, we can say, the African grasslands. They were now living on the grasslands. They were living previously on trees, but currently, due to an inconsistent rain and the declining forests, they were forced to live on land, on ground, on the huge savanna-like area. Because of this, they try to adapt. Obviously, every organism is trying to adapt to the environment, and when they are living on the land, they were trying to adapt to the land. And in this process of adaptation, what they did, they developed their pelvis girdle. Pelvis girdle, yes, pelvis girdle. It's nearly at the end of your vertebral column, that pelvis girdle. That pelvis girdle developed in such a way that the bend which was there in their back, because of which they were walking like apes, walking like monkeys. When we see a monkey, it cannot stand upright like a human being. There is a bend at its back, at its lower back, and that bent is because of the pelvis girdle, that underdeveloped pelvis girdle, because of which a monkey cannot stand like this. He has to keep his back like this. because of the pelvis girdle. But these animals who were walking on land from a long time because of the inconsistent rain and declining forests and all, because of which their pelvis girdle developed in such a way that they were able to walk in erect posture like a human being, like we do today. This is a very interesting thing, that when they were forced to live on land, their body tried to adapt according to the land, and their pelvis girdle developed in such a way that they were able to walk in erect posture. This is something very amazing. Then, apart from this, once they started walking in erect posture, obviously their hands became available for work, and they used it very well. Their free hands free for work and tool use. They developed tools, they used tools. First human like animals evolved around 2 crore years ago, which means that they were having their hands free for work, for making tools, for using them. Then we are going to talk about the Ramapithecus. Yes, one of the most important character in the story of human evolution. Ramapithecus, our early ancestor. So who was Ramapithecus? And why is he so important in the story? Ramapithecus, who was he? Considered one of the earliest human ancestors. This is the thing. He was having nearly all the characters a human being, an early human being may have within its body. Ramapithecus was having all those characters, walking upright and many other things, tool making abilities and all, and using it. He was having all of them. Considered one of the earliest human ancestor. We are not talking about apes anymore, okay? We are talking about somewhat very close to human, not apes, very close to human. Ramapithecus was an organism who was very close to modern humans. Earliest human ancestor, we can say it, with fossil discovered in North India and East Africa. The fossils of Ramapithecus are discovered in two different places, in Africa, East Africa, and in Shivalik mountains of North India. Around 20 lakh years ago, early skilled humans evolved from this lineage. Okay, remember this, that the process of evolution is multidimensional sometimes. So what happens, an organism is there, that organism is developing its characters according to the environment and adapting to the environment. And few organisms from that group may develop into a different way. But the more successful is the one who is adapting according to the environment more successfully, obviously. So many organisms, many animal, many human species have evolved over time, but none of them is surviving right now because of various factors. Only we humans, the Homo sapiens, are surviving, and we are coming from this lineage, this Ramapithecus lineage of humans. This is very interesting point here, that we are coming from this lineage of Ramapithecus. And around 20 lakh years ago, what happened? Early skilled humans evolved from this lineage. Early skilled humans, okay? Homo erectus and the discovery of fire. Homo erectus and the discovery of fire. Homo erectus, as the name suggests, Homo means same, erectus, a person, a human being walking with a straight, upright position. Erectus, walked upright and lived across Asia, evolved around 15 lakh years ago. Homo erectus was living on Earth around 15 lakh years ago, and he was walking upright like normal human being. Homo erectus, the name itself is enough to tell you, to suggest you, to tell you the story, to tell you exactly the characters of Homo erectus. That he was walking upright in the erect posture. That's what the name suggests. Homo erectus. Discovery of fire. So this is a debatable thing, exactly when we discovered fire, but its majority of the evidences suggest that it was around 100,000 years ago, 1 lakh years ago, when we discovered fire. And we used it for cooking, we used it for protection, we used it for warmth. When we use it for cooking, it becomes very important actually for cooking, using fire for cooking, because when you cook something, it becomes easily digestible to your body. It becomes, the bonds gets broken, the chemical structure is loosened, so your body can easily absorb the nutrients present in that substance which you ate. So we use it for cooking. Apart from that, protection also, as we were living in between the wild animals. Wild animals are afraid of fire, obviously, because they know it can cause harm to them. So fire was actually used for protection as well. And apart from this, one of the most important uses of fire were the warmth which we get from fire. The warmth, yes. Why it is important? Because sometimes environment can get extreme. The climate can get extreme in the lower temperatures when the temperature falls well below zero and all. At that point of time, we must and should be having fire because lower temperatures may kill someone. And fire these fire which we had for warmth played a crucial role in early development of humans. We got warmth, we got protection, and we got cooking, we got substance cooking from them. Homo sapiens, the wise man. Now comes the turning point. Homo sapiens have arrived now. The wise man, 50,000 years ago, highly developed brain evolved. Highly developed brain evolved. Modern humans named Homo sapien, meaning wise man. Homo sapien means the wise man. Neanderthal man, it is again Neanderthal man is an another species, you can say. It is another variation of Homo sapien, an early example of wise man with basic cognitive abilities. Neanderthal man, he was living in the Central Europe and Eastern Europe area. So Neanderthal man. Neanderthal man is named Neanderthal because the fossils were found in Neanderthal Valley, Germany. Neanderthal man. He is an early example of wise man. Today, Neanderthal man is not in existence, although, but still he is considered to be the first example or the early example of wise man because he was able to do all the necessary things which we are able to do. The basic things, let's say, the basic things. He was able to build shelters. He was able to start a fire. He was able to cook. He was able to make clothings out of skin of animals and all. Then comes the Cro-Magnon man, evolved later after Neanderthal man with more advanced skill and greater sophistication. He was able to modify the tools. He was able to exactly streamline the tools which he used to make. This was a higher cognitive ability compared to Neanderthal man in Cro-Magnon man. Then comes the dawn of civilization. We are moving towards our period of time now, dawn of civilization. Afterwards, agriculture started, farming and animal domestication started. Some experts say that animal domestication started long ago the agriculture. Because if you see, agriculture is quite technical work. If you see, but the animal domestication and rearing cattle herds is not that much of a technical work as the agriculture is. So few experts say that agriculture is a secondary occupation of human beings, but rearing the cattle herd is a very primary thing which humans did before agriculture, rearing the cattle herds. Afterwards, cities, permanent settlements where humans were settled permanently. Humans were not moving from one place to the other. Then cities and permanent settlements evolved and they got built and trade started. Trade started between one city and the other city and routes began to take shape and etc. etc. Many developments occurred around this period of time. Afterwards, around 5,000 years ago, the art of writing was invented. Symbols and records emerged around 5,000 years ago. From farming to cities to written language, human society transformed rapidly in just a few thousand years. If you see the whole journey of human beings, we have started it from 7 crore years ago, and up until now, we can clearly see that the development is getting faster and faster and faster from 5,000 years ago. Let's start with the agriculture. If we start with the agriculture, around 10 to 12,000 years ago, agriculture started. Then cities got built up around 8,000 years ago. And afterwards, writing was invented around 5,000 years ago. So humans' development from agriculture to writing, it took only 3,000 years ago. It took only 3,000 years. The art of writing was then invented around 5,000 years ago. And the journey is still ongoing. Brain development, expanding cognition drove every leap forward. Our development in brain is ever going, continuously going on. Upright posture, freed hands. Because of our upright posture, our hands got freed, and how humans interacted with the world continually changed. It completely changed, and it is completely changing and continuously changing. So our position, upright posture, completely changed the world because our hand got freed and we were able to make changes in our surrounding with our hands. Apart from this, environment, climate and habitat changes shaped every stage of evolution. Climate and habitat changes shaped every stage of evolution because we know the fact that all the human beings, all the living organisms, let it be a bacteria or let it be a plant or any other animal, all of them are trying to survive, all of them are trying to adapt according to the environment. So climate and habitat, the climate which we live in, played a crucial role in our development as well. Human evolution is a continuous process, obviously. Modern science and civilization are its greatest outcomes. Modern science, as we can see clearly, in the last 400 years, from the emergence of modern science, the human development is continuously going in the forward direction at ever increasing pace. Right from the development of modern sciences, so this was today's presentation. If you like the presentation, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to have notes from this point, from this human evolution, please feel free to drop your comment down in the comment box. We will provide you the notes as well. And this was today's presentation. If you have got any questions, any query, any doubts, anything related to today's, any corrections even from today's presentations, feel free to drop it down into the comment box. Just write it down, type it down, and send it to the comments, and we'll definitely going to address it in the future presentations. Thank you.